Hey, what's happening, YouTube? Welcome back to Boost Preparedness. Thought I'd give you guys a quick update on terms of kind of where we're at with Helene, as well as we are staring down the barrel of the gun again, potentially, for some rain with the current, I believe it's been now clarified or classified as a Cat 5 Hurricane Milton on its way. So most of the area that I'm in has power restored. It's really crazy how neighbors that were once outside are all of a sudden gone again. I know they're not gone, but like we went from a non-hermited lifestyle to now we're going to be hermited yet again. Part of that's people, part of it's because we just get comfortable again. Like, hey, I mean, I don't know if you can hear the power on as the AC is kicking away at my house. So people have decided, well, we can go inside and relax for a little bit, maybe catch our breath. But au contraire, now we've got to worry about Hurricane Milton coming through. Now it's supposed to hit Florida, and it's not expected to have a significant impact. But in my area, we did not prepare. I say we collectively. You can call it the entire state. You can call it just the town. Both would be applicable. For the hurricane to shift the way that it did and ended up crushing into us and caused a significant amount of damage. I mean, there's still people locally less than 5 miles down the road from me that don't have power and probably won't have power until at the earliest tomorrow. So it's not like this has been long gone or far away. So now we've already got people who are still struggling to get their power on. Now, most people have a generator by now. Most people are taken care of. However, that being said, brings me kind of what I wanted to observe about this. I am a big fan of never buying stuff that is brand new. There's usually a markup, and a lot of people buy stuff that's brand new, and they end up not liking it, disliking it, whatever. I used to be hey, I have to buy a new one because, being thrifty, going thrifting, used stuff. Oh no, I can afford this now. Well, now I realize it's kind of stupid. As long as, because one, it's a waste of money, and two, there's a lot of folks who are like me who buy shit and then they go, oh crap, I really don't want this, or didn't like it, or didn't do it the right way, or maybe it's just not what I intended it to be. I just need to get rid of it because I want to go buy the next big shiny thing. And I've been perusing through the classified ads, both on Facebook, on Craigslist, some of the local trading stuff. Y'all, let me tell you, there must be at least 24 generators just sitting around, like ready to be sold. Some of them are in the box. Okay, so these people freaked out, lost power, somehow got cell phone service, or they tried to do it prior to, and they got paid for generators. And now that the disaster is gone and they no longer have to worry about it, they're like, no, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to sell it. Yeah, because, natural disasters never happen again. Are you high? Did you eat paint chips as a child? Did you, huff glue? Were you dropped? I mean, that's literally like I wore my seatbelt once when I got in an accident. Therefore, I'm good to go. I don't need to use it anymore. I'm going to get rid of my seatbelts. How insane does that sound? Because to me, it drives me nuts. I'm going like, ooh, discount. I might find myself, a nice 2-3 kilowatt generator to supplement their solar system. And talking with a buddy of mine, let's just say Ed, great idea. Looking at dual fuel generators. Why? So I can use propane or gas. And if I want to get really fancy, I can try and find one that's tri-fuel, but that's a lot more money than I really want to drop right now. But just looking online, there must be at least, I want to say 5 or 6, just within my 5-mile radius that I looked for, selling brand new, never opened generators. Now, some of them are trying to scalp them, which I think is categorically wrong, and I hope those people I hope that karma finds them. I'm trying to be nicer. But there are other folks that are like, nah, bought it, never used it, don't want it anymore. Or, hey, I got a 4,000 watt generator, I needed 8 or a 10 or whatever. So there's a plethora of these generators just being thrown around, and that's not the only thing. I've found, you look up survival supplies in any of the hardest hit areas. So you could look at Valdosta, Georgia. You could look up Augusta, Georgia. You could look up in South Carolina, like in Aiken, North Augusta. Where else? I know there's a bunch in Columbia. Charlotte even had some. I look everywhere just for fun. All the way up through North Carolina, where people who are like, the storm's passed, we're good to go. And they're selling butane fuel for like jet boil. They're selling camp stoves. They're selling their grills. They're selling their generators, their tents, their extra gas cans, because everybody bought like 500 gas cans. You know what I mean? They're the freaking COVID people who went in and bought like 9 million rolls of toilet paper. And unless, as my kids asked at the time, like, do these people have diarrhea problems? Like that, it's like, do you really need nine 5-gallon gas cans? I mean, maybe you do. Maybe you have several generators. Maybe you're getting it for your community. But to go around and then turn around and try and sell them at $40 a piece, I think you're profiteering. And I hope that one comes to bite you right in the big open butthole. Anyway, back to the channel. So looking at this, I want to just kind of reiterate to people, like, especially if you look at Helene, right? Everybody's going, we're out. Huzzah. Power. Oh, air conditioning, hot shower. We don't need it anymore. We're good to go. We will never need this again. And literally, in the next couple of days, Hurricane Milton's supposed to make landfall. Now, granted, it's supposed to hit Florida. Less likely to hit my area. However, they also said that the storm that hit us, Helene, was not going to hit us at all. Like the experts knew. 100%. Won't happen. Won't make it. How did that pan out? And yet, here you go again. I'm going to start selling stuff. So what I would encourage you to do is the following 3 things. Just take it for what it's worth. 1, find stuff you actually have gaps in and try and get that stuff now. If you're not in my area, you're likely in a place that's got reliable gas, food, shelter, water. There's not a run on your supplies. They aren't limiting how many gallons of milk you can get, because that's a thing now, because nobody had gallon jugs of milk. But get the supplies that you need now. I would highly encourage you to kind of look at what gaps you might have. If it's power generation, get a generator. If it's food stores that's shelf stable, ready to eat, be it cans, be it Mountain House, be it, long-term food survival or survival food, even those emergency ration bars, if you've ever had one of those, they're like hard like brick, taste like crap, but it'll keep you alive. It's like 2,400 calories a box or a bar, and you break off little chunks every 2 hours. By the way, not very digestible. Just a friendly passing on to you. But get that stuff now, because like whenever we've had all these shortages before, nobody thought we'd need extra toilet paper. Nobody thought, who takes a biological disease and says, hey, that's going to make me need more toilet paper, or that's going to make me need more guns and ammo. I mean, there's a correlation between the second one, but people have herd mentality. Oh no, this person's getting toilet paper, maybe I should too. Kind of like, these people buying all these generators and gas cans. Oh, these people have one. We didn't have a gas generator the whole time. I borrowed one from a friend for one night in order to help supercharge some of my systems, but that was it. So anyway, long story long, find the gaps that you have now and get them now. I'm not saying you have to spend $1 million. I'm not saying you have to spend $1,000, but start trying to identify what would be really bad. If you had to shut in tomorrow, if you couldn't leave your house tomorrow, and you had to have all the supplies you have on hand, what would you need? If that's a box of Twinkies, well then go get yourself a box of Twinkies. If that's, hey, I don't have any gas to run my generator, go get the gas now. It makes sense, right? It shouldn't be that hard, but a lot of people are much more instant gratification. If it's something that I can get pleasure and benefit out of now versus having to get out in the future, they do that. So that's 1, get the stuff you need now. 2, if you get stuff, buy once, cry once. What does that mean? I have bought so much crap over the years that was the cheapest model available because A, that was what I could afford, or B, I thought it'd be just good enough. As I have advanced in age, which you can tell by that awesome rising tide of gray hair, I've realized that there's a reason why some things are at a premium. You know, you really will not know how good a $2,000 rifle shoots unless you shoot a $2,000 rifle. I have cheapest cheap rifles that are still dead solid shooters. Great guns. But they're not a Cadillac gun. They're not one of these guns that can hit the wings off a gnat's ass at 180 yards, you know, with the wind blowing. There is a price and a quality comparison on some items. So find where that fits for you. If you think that you're going to shoot just as good with a $500 AR-15 versus a $2,000 one, hey, more power to you. Awesome. I hope your results are everything you want. Maybe you can't shoot to the quality level, but you get kind of what I'm saying. If you buy a cheapo stove or a cheapo gas grill, yeah, it may work for the season, but is it going to work if you really need it? Would you really want to risk having a water filter that you're relying on for the end of the world that was bought off of Temu? Maybe. I mean, your results and mileage may vary. Good luck. So buy good quality systems. Does it suck? Yeah, it kind of does. But I will tell you that I felt extremely confident with the stuff that I had, and I didn't have anything break. I had folks who bought cheapo generators that they found at Uncle Bob's, Cousins Frank's, warehouse, that their stuff fell apart, broke, wasn't working right. They bought the cheapo generators that they could find. Buy reputable stuff. So do that now because you got the opportunity. If you can't, find out the gap, put the money towards the gap. And finally, the last point, number 3, don't get rid of your stuff when you think the situation is over. Like, I'm not encouraging you to hoard stuff. Oh, maybe I am. Maybe I'm trying to justify my own hoarding a little bit. But you don't want to go and buy a generator like I'm seeing online, spend $1,000. I don't know about y'all, but $1,000, that hits me deep. I'm a federal employee. I don't have that kind of money to just throw around. $1,000 is a lot. So I'm not going to go spend $1,000 on a generator, use it for 8 hours, and then go, you know what? Nah, I'm good. I'm going to return it. Can't return it because it had fuel in it. Damn, I'm going to go sell it because I'm never going to need it again. No, there's a reason that you needed it. Now, if it's not the right product, A, go back to point 1 and point 2, but B, if it's not the right product and you still didn't listen on point 1 and point 2, maybe look at trying to barter for a different one that fits you better, but don't get rid of it, especially knowing that, you know what? We have a hurricane season every year. Weird. Same thing when we have tornado season. We have blizzard seasons. I've lived in almost every major climate in the United States. I've lived in the desert. I've lived in the mountains. I've lived in the grasslands and the prairies in the Midwest. I've lived in the swamps in the South. I grew up in the mountain ranges. I don't know if I brought that up or not. The only place I haven't done is the tundra and then the rainforest of the Pacific Northwest. I've been to the Pacific Northwest. Of the locations I have lived, I have been through some type of a natural disaster in every single one. I've lived through forest fires. I've lived through an earthquake that was, I think it was a 6.4 about 4 or 5 years ago. So I've lived through that and the disruptions that caused. I've lived through blizzards. There were storms in where I'm from, up in the mountains, where legitimately the car in front of us got snowed in. The car behind us on the highway got snowed in. We had blankets, we had water, we had food. We were good. Those folks didn't. They decided to run their car the whole time. Well, when that blocks up your tailpipe or creates a little kind of like a, for lack of better terms, like a bubble around your car, it pushes this carbon monoxide into your car. Guess what? Those people died. Hey, hey, I'm trying to shoot a video here, sir. You mind your P's and Q's. Gosh, some people's children. So I've been through all these disasters. We had a tornado nearly hit our house. Like, it literally, there was a storm chaser in my front yard, and I ran out of our shelter to go, hey, if you need a place to stay, you can go check out our storm shelter. I got it right here. You can come on in. And the guy goes, no, I'm a storm chaser. I said, okay, cool. Where's the storm? And he said, look above your house. And I look up, and there's the funnel cloud. I was like, oh, shit. That's a thing. I'm going to go inside now and bend between my legs and kiss my ass goodbye. Thankfully, that one didn't hit. But we've had disasters all over the United States. It can happen to you. So what? Don't buy stuff and then turn around and get rid of it, because guess what? I'm pretty sure if you're like the average folks, you will move, or the seasons do change, and no area that I know of in the United States is not likely to have some type of a catastrophic event, be it weather related, be it civil related. Like if you talk about some of the riots, or hell, if you want to take it to a military perspective, if you're in a larger city, it could be military related. You know, if there happens to be, God forbid, World War. So, to recap, find out what your gaps are, get it now. Make sure you get good quality stuff that will meet the needs that you have, and don't sell it as soon as you think the emergency is over. All right? So that's just my rant for today. So far, all of my friends and family and extended folks around here are doing well. I appreciate a lot of you who've reached out and asked how we're doing. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. We are truly blessed. As I said, we were spared a good chunk of the large damage, but I will try and put together a video montage of all of the damage, at least our surrounding area. And when I tell you that I use the word blessed, and a lot of people use it, but when you see the destruction, I mean, I'm literally looking at my neighbor's house right now, and he has a 30-foot pine tree smashed into the back of his porch. So where this would be, yeah, there's a huge hole here, and the pine tree smashed through it, and it's hitting his back of his house. Now, I hope that Milton doesn't bring water, because he still hasn't got it removed and had it patched up, but that's a different story for a different day. But we are all doing well, and our community is really pulled together, which has really made me proud to be here in a way that we weren't before. So very interested in your comments. I would humbly ask, if you do find value out of this channel, please like it, subscribe to it. I am trying to revamp it. I've done this multiple times. Unfortunately, military life has taken me away multiple times, both overseas and locally, and then life does happen, but I am trying to post more consistently so that way I can kind of pass on some of my lessons learned, because it's a lot easier to learn from me and my mistakes and go, oh, hey, that's a good idea, than it is to go through that stuff on your own. Because trust me, going through it on your own is painful and more expensive and not as much fun, and your results may vary. So would really help me out if you would like and subscribe. And then if you do find things that are good that you think other people could benefit from, I know my mom will probably watch this. She has been watching it, and she's been asking me questions because the videos have spawned her to go, wait, what about this? Well, that's a good point. I should add that in. Or, hey, how did you do this? If you have questions, please leave them below. If you have comments, please leave them below. I do try to answer all my stuff, and if you do have a question on something, I will actually do a video on it to try and answer it, especially if there's enough people who ask the questions. So if everybody says, well, hey, what did you do about this? I will do my best to answer it. Anyway, thank you for listening to my rant/update. I hope you're all doing well. Please go forth and prosper, and as always, stay safe.